gentlemen, friends, patriots, we're here for a great day. We welcome you to the commemoration of the 225th anniversary of the Constitution for the United States of America. And if you would please remove your hats. Face, oh, it's over there. Turn some.
Not just on the 225th anniversary of the Constitution, but each and every day. And then use that in the spirit of living that freedom under our Constitution, because it's only if we obey that Constitution, if we know the Constitution, if we're so familiar with it as we can challenge any political leader that would violate that Constitution and their contract to hold that office, then there is our duty and our responsibility. It is exactly what our founders expected of us. When Ben Franklin left the hall in Philadelphia, he was stopped in the street on this very day 225 years ago. And the question to him came from a citizen. Actually, it happened to be the wife of the mayor of Philadelphia, and she said, "Mr. Franklin, what form of government have you given us?" His response was, "Madam, we have given you a republic, if you can save it." So it falls to each and every generation to prepare for the battle, to prepare for the duty to save that Constitution. At a time and a place when our independence was in question, as once again mentioned by the Chief Justice, and it was on Christmas Eve, George Washington and his rag and tagged army that was trying to bring peace to the country through independence and through the spirit of understanding the power of the individual and the responsibility of the individual to live their life according to the dictates of their Creator. Prepared to cross the Delaware River into Trenton, New Jersey. They had not won a battle. George Washington turned to a guy by the name of Thomas Paine, and he said, "Mr. Paine, could you prepare for us some sort of message that I could share with the troops on this night before we go into battle?" Mr. Paine printed a small pamphlet, and this is what he said, and it's just as appropriate today. "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in this crisis shrink in the service of their country, but he that stands it now deserves the love and the thanks of every man and every woman. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered. Yet in that we have this consolation with us, that the more difficult the battle, the more glorious the triumph. 'Tis dearness only that gives everything its value. Those things which we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. Heaven knows how to put a price on all of its goods. So it would seem strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom were not highly prized." Washington crossed the Delaware, won the first major battle over the British and the Hessians, who were at that time supporting the British. Patrick Henry said during the creation of the Constitution, "I'll not sign it. I smell a rat." And they said, "Well, you know, it's amazing. He had an olfactory memory, reached 225 years out into the future, all the way back to Washington, D.C. He said, "I smell a rat, and I'm not going to sign it until you enumerate all the rights of man." The presiding officer was George Washington, and he said, "You know, we're going to take that under advisement." So he turned to a guy from Pennsylvania, or New York, a guy by the name of James Wilson. He said, "Take this under advisement and tell me what you think." And James Wilson came back the next day, and he said, or 3 days later, and he said, "You know, Mr. President, we find it unwise to enumerate all the rights of man. For if in our effort to do so, we should leave one right out, little thought to be the property of government. Leave us suffer our burdens toward the elimination and toward the adjudication of government. Rather, limit them in their power rather than trying to enumerate all the rights of man." And so that's why ours is a document of limitation and not a document of permission for the government to do that in whichever it wants to do. And so I stand before you today as the 32nd governor of the great state of Idaho and signed this proclamation, which says, Whereas September 17th of 2012 marks the 225th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary and to the patriotic celebration which will commemorate this occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issue of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore I, C.L. Butch Otter, Governor of the great state of Idaho, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd, 2012 to be Constitutional Week in that 43rd star of the American flag. Thank you very much.